Hello, I'm Dr. Donald Crowe. Here's the big question. Why do we keep drinking, even when the evidence says it's hurting us? A simple question with a complicated answer. Most people don't need to ask because the evidence is harming them is indistinct or infrequent. But for others, the consequences have mounted, and they're realizing that getting to the answer is their key to freedom. The purpose of this video is to give you a clear, usable answer to this big question. One that allows you to understand the true pull of alcohol across human history, and why it seems to benefit many, but destroys a few, and what to do if you're in that second group. That's the group I found myself in 28 years ago, when my life exploded and alcohol had lit the fuse. For me to pick up the pieces and build a life worth living, I had to diagnose the problem. Decades of medical practice had taught me how to do this. It was obvious that alcohol was hurting me. So why did I continue to drink? I drank to get something. And if I didn't figure out what that something was and replace it, I'd be stuck in a loop of missing it until the regret drove me to drink again. The quest to understand alcohol's allure led me to uncover parts of myself long hidden. If alcohol has become a problem for you, watch until the end and get a better understanding of why you drink and what you can do about it. Also, subscribe to Second Act Sobriety. Hit that button and ring the bell. We look deeper into important questions that will help you get the life you want. Life is difficult. Humans have always lived under pressure. We have needs: shelter, food, safety. Today, the predators look different. Bills, inboxes, reputation, family stress, health scares. Through countless generations, one thing remains consistent. We are engineered to survive. Your brain runs a 24/7 threat scanner. That low hum of "be careful" never shuts up. Even when life is fine, the background alarm is there. Control becomes our North Star. When we feel in control, we relax. When we don't, tension spikes. Since we are rarely truly in control, that tension is the baseline condition of being human. There's no shame in that. It's the job description. Our history reveals that for thousands of years, alcohol has been part of the human toolkit. It's in our meals, our rituals, our celebrations. It's become social glue. Why? Because alcohol works, at least in the short run. At the chemical level, ethyl alcohol is a depressant. It boosts the brain's slow down system and dampens the fire up systems. The net effect? Less neural noise. Those alarm bells I mentioned, their volume goes down. That's the attraction. Here are the 3 keys to alcohol's perceived benefit. Number 1, it mutes background threat. That internal alarm eases. Life feels less dangerous for a moment. The result? Relief. Number 2, it lowers behavioral inhibition. That protective voice that says, "Don't risk this," becomes a whisper. Talking to that beauty across the room, singing karaoke, saying the awkward things, all feel easier. The result? A confidence look-alike, a functional chemical impersonation. Number 3, it opens the door to sleep. Not great sleep, not fully restorative, but for many, the easiest off switch at day's end. The result? A shortcut that feels like a rest. Put those together and it creates a powerful perception. This helps me manage life. And in that instant where a person decides to take a drink, the calculation most people make, consciously or not, is simple. The perceived benefit is greater than the perceived cost. That's why the glass reaches the lips. Here's the twist people miss. The motivation to drink alcohol is the same for almost everyone. The illusion of relief, ease, a sense of control. And it's not just alcohol. Humans have discovered other chemicals that do the same. Up to the moment that intoxication begins, everyone is the same. What comes next is the fork in the road. Some people stop when they should. Others do not. The outcomes split because brains differ. For most, stop signals from the brain function properly. They alert the person that they've had enough. They take no more, and life goes on. For others, the brakes don't bite. The same chemistry that mutes the alarms also unhooks the limiter. I've had enough fails to materialize. One drink becomes three. Three becomes the entire night. And enough nights become a wasted life. For centuries, the world labeled that group weak-willed. Modern medicine knows that's lazy thinking. We now see real, measurable differences in the reward processing, stress response, and impulse control centers of the brain, the exact circuits alcohol manhandles. So when someone asks innocently, why don't they just stop? The most scientific answer is because their brain doesn't put the fire out the same way yours does. It's not a character revelation, it's a neurochemical reality. And here's the tricky part. The same perceived benefits become extra persuasive for this group to ward off the consequences that come with living an intoxicated life. Escape feels like relief. Drunken promises feel like control. And sleep, even low-quality passing out, feels like survival. But the costs keep rising until they eat those benefits alive. The bottom line is that alcohol works until it doesn't. Alcohol sells the fast illusion of control over your feelings. You don't solve a problem, you mute it. You don't build courage, you borrow it. You don't rest, you sedate. Most can get away with these indulgences because they're temporary. For the others who don't stop, alcohol hijacks their lives and they grow dependent on it. Alcohol becomes their solution. Too often, their only solution. Because while under its influence, they don't build real skills, discipline, resilience, interdependence. And if you're in this vulnerable group, the illusion created by alcohol can seem so real that you willingly deny reality to choose this fantasy. And most find that living life in opposition to reality isn't sustainable. Things come apart, and a turning point is reached. Those lucky enough to recognize that alcohol isn't working for them, and brave enough to try to change, are left with a dilemma. How do I beat this? By themselves? Most become entangled in endless attempts to overcome their biologic reality. They look for some loophole, some strategy, some magic that will allow them to regain the ability to limit their drinking. That they have a medical condition that overwhelms their best intentions is frustrating and baffling. It makes no sense. It's not fair. And it doesn't matter. The vast majority of those afflicted are slow to accept this. They continue to try new techniques or make stronger vows, trying harder to drink successfully. The struggle can consume them, with the only reward being a few victories that never balance the growing list of defeats. But if they can reroute those efforts from fighting to control alcohol toward replacing what alcohol gave them instead, this pivot will always yield results. New solutions to life's difficulties can be acquired, but only if the old solution is set aside. Continued drinking nullifies any attempt to learn something new. If alcohol can be removed, a void is left in its place. That solution for life's equation is no longer there, and another must replace it. This is the central challenge of recovery. How it's done isn't as important as that it's done. What worked for me is what I saw work in others. It began by defining that something that alcohol did for me. Being specific helped. And nothing brought clarity like using pen and paper. If alcohol is winning in your life, give this a try. Sit down alone and write down the job you hired alcohol to do. Write it down in plain words. Mute anxiety, lower social fear, fall asleep. No poetry, job titles only. Alcohol was your solution for each of these problems. Other solutions exist. Seek them. Learn them. Write them down as well. Then, when the choice comes to take a drink or do something else, do something else. Stay sober while you learn how to live differently. This defines recovery, and recovery is worth having. So the truth is that people drink for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason is because it works. For some, though, drinking has such a high cost that it outweighs any short-term benefit and must be avoided. If they can do this and learn to find life solutions elsewhere, their lives can be second to none. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment below. If alcohol has become a problem, I urge you, try something different. Life without alcohol or other drugs may seem like an impossibility, but it isn't. Giving up drinking doesn't mean giving up anything real. It means opening the door to the life you deserve. Check out this next video, especially if you're certain this won't work for you. I'm Dr. Donald Crowe, and I'll see you in the next one.